So if you're wondering what you need to use for taking those long exposure waterfall shots, well, in this video I'm going to explain what it is you need and how to use the equipment. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm out here at a river that I haven't been to yet, so I just walked up the river. You can hear a bear behind me, and I found a waterfall I've been looking for a little while. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to take video in there to show you exactly what the waterfall is, because it's a little sketchy. It's in a canyon and there's no trail on either side, so if I end up getting a picture of it, I'll show it at the end of this video. But what I'm going to show you right here is exactly the equipment that I use for taking those long exposure photos for your phone. And if you're wondering how to use the other end of it, the camera aspect, and what settings to use in your camera, check out my playlist. I'll leave a link up there. Yeah, you check it out. It's for all about taking waterfall photos with your phone. So I've had a couple subscribers ask me what exactly that I use, so I'm going to show it to you here. The first thing I use is a Moment case. If you're unfamiliar with Moment products, I'll leave all the links down below for this product that I'm using, but a Moment case is a case that goes over your phone. This one happens to be my Galaxy S9. And it's a nice case that goes on the outside, but what's unique about this case, it has a holder mount here for their Moment lenses and also a lens filter mount. So what I'm going to show you is you can get a couple different things. So one, you can go with the Moment lenses, and I'll just grab one here and throw it on there for you. This is their 58 millimeter tele lens, and how it mounts, it's got a little mounting ring on the lens, and it fits into the phone case just like that, and locks in there. Now if you've got this lens, if you go ahead and use this lens, you get their lens filter mount, and it goes right over top of the lens like this. And then this will hold your ND filters. If you're unfamiliar with ND filters, it is a neutral density filter, and essentially what it does is it reduces the amount of light that hits the sensor on your phone, and is absolutely necessary for taking long exposure photos. In order to slow down that shutter speed, you need to be able to reduce the amount of light that's hitting that phone sensor, and the only way to do that is a couple things. One is to reduce the ISO on your phone, but if it's a bright sunny day or there's lots of rapids, you'll never reduce that ISO enough to get that shutter speed down, to get that slow action in the water. So you have to have an ND filter. And the ND filters that I use are by a brand called Gobe. And they're a company out of Australia. Actually, they just changed their name to Earth. URTH, I think it is. But there's basically only two filters that I use 99.9% of the time, and let's get them out here for you. I just got these new ones actually because they're under the Earth brand, but I use an ND64. So on the side of the filter it says N64. And essentially what that is a 6-stop ND filter, so it reduces the amount of light by 6 stops that's hitting that sensor. And I've used this on bright sunny days, on overcast days, and it's very rare that I actually use a different filter than the 6-stop. Unless it's like super bright sunny day and there's so much water flow, there's a lot of white in there, that I'll stop up to like a 10-stop filter. So how that goes is you take this ND filter and it screws right onto the end of that adapter right there. So that works pretty good. Now there's a second way you can attach these filters to your phone as well. Is Moment also has an adapter by itself that you don't actually have to have their lenses. So this little adapter here goes right into the back of the phone as well. Now that's a 37 millimeter ring mount, and on their Moment website they do sell 37 millimeter lenses. But because I actually got this second, so because I got the Moment lenses and then the Moment lens filter mount, that lens filter mount is 62 millimeters. And instead of buying a whole bunch of new filters, what I did was I got a step-up ring. So you can get these step-up rings. So this is a 37 mil to a 62 mil, and it just screws right onto there like that. So I can use all my 62 millimeter lenses. So you can take that again, that 6-stop ND filter, and screw it onto there like that. You don't have to have these Moment adapters and cases to use ND filters. There is universal adapters that you can get on Amazon. Moment sells them. I'll leave links down below so you can have links for that. But there's universal ones that goes right on the outside and just holds the lens to the phone. I like the Moment ones the best just because how secure it is, and it just works for all the camera systems I have here. The next filter I use is a circular polarizer. So a circular polarizer, what that does is cuts out any glare on water. And if you think about it, just like your polarized sunglasses, if you're looking at water with your bare eye, you're only seeing the surface of the water, especially if that sun's coming down and hitting it, and you can't see in, and you're getting that reflection. Not only are you getting reflection off the water, but you're getting reflection off any rocks. So that any rocks that are on the water, beside it, that have a little bit of a white, the wet sheen on there, is going to give you a really bad reflection. If you use a circular polarizer, it's going to cut out all that reflection. It's going to cut out that sheen on the water so you can see right into the water, and it gives for amazing photos. If I was to choose between any filter to take waterfall photos with, between the ND and the circular polarizer, I'd go with the circular polarizer every time. But the ideal situation is actually use both of them. So what you do is you stack your filters. So you put your ND filter on first, then you put your circular polarizer on front of that. And when you've lined up your shot, you can actually turn the circular polarizer to get the right polarization that you need for that scene that you're in. Because the way the polarization works, it works as a 90-degree angle from where the sun is. So if the sun is over here, if you're 90-degree angle, that's your best position to get the best polarization. But as soon as that sun moves towards you in the center line, you're going to get less polarization. And that's why they have put the circular polarizer on here, is you got to turn it to find the right polarization that works for that scene that you're in. For other filters that I use, all in the Gobe brand. Actually, I have a couple that are KNF Concept that I got when I first got. They're relatively inexpensive. These Gobe filters, they're probably mid-range. They're not super expensive. They have 3 different grades. They call it the 1 peak, 2 peak, and 3 peak. The least expensive ones are the 1 peak, and the difference between the 1 peak, the 2, and the 3 is just how many layers of protection that they have on those filters. So if you're just starting out and you're not really sure, just get the 1 peaks. And as you get more familiar with them and you want to upgrade, I would go to the 2 or 3 peaks. They are probably 2 or 3 times the price, the 2 or 3 peaks, but they are better with for scratch resistance and for repelling water off the lens. And the thing I really like about the Gobe filters is they come with these nice metal covers, and they're all stackable. So nice metal screw-on caps you can put on either side. And I mean, in this here I got 1, 2, 3, I got 5 different filters stacked up into each other into a slim design, and I can just throw that in my pocket and they're well protected. The new Earth filters that I just got, they have a different case they come with. So I don't know, this case, it's got nice foam in it, and it screws in this way. Not so much liking that one, but I like this style better, where you can just screw it all in together with a nice metal cap. Lastly, and probably the most important thing that you're going to need for taking long exposure shots, is a sturdy tripod. This is an absolute must. I don't know how you're going to do without it. You can't hand hold your phone for that 1 to 3 second shutter speed and hold it completely still and get a good photo with it. So this one here I just picked up a couple weeks ago. I did a review on this. You can check it out under my gear review playlist. I have a couple different tripods. I like this one the best, but you don't have to have an expensive tripod. You can get any type of cheap tripod for 20 bucks off of Amazon. I know the very first tripod that I used, it was just a little Archon thing. I paid like 20 bucks for it. And as it got more advanced and more familiar with how to do the whole long exposure photography, I just upgraded my equipment. But you're gonna need a so let's review. You're gonna need this tripod. You need ND filters, and you need a way to mount the ND filter to your phone. So you can get a universal clamp-on mounts, and I'll leave links down below for you. Or you can use the whole Moment filter system. And if you do buy the Moments, you know you're guaranteed to get a system that works, and you'll never have a problem with it. I'm not trying to show you any kind of cheap junk, or I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to show you exactly what I use and what works. So I like promoting the Moment gear because of how the good quality it is, and it actually does work. So Moment system, you need a Moment case, the Moment filter lens, and then you can get the lenses. Now the lenses themselves, you can just buy just about anywhere. I got mine off of Amazon, and they're the Gobe brand that I've used quite a bit. I have used other brands, but I keep going back to the Gobe because of the quality and for how much they cost. So I think that covers it, guys. If there was something I missed, just leave a comment down below and I'll address it. I'll try and answer your questions the best I can. I'll do some future videos of actual reviews on the filters that I use, but this just gives you an idea of what equipment that you're gonna need to take those long exposure shots. So I'm gonna try and I'm gonna walk up the riverside there and see if I can get a couple of good photos of that waterfall. And if I can, I'll show it to you here. So. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you got something out of it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I bring you weekly videos with tips, tutorials, and gear reviews and inspiration for your mobile photography. So thanks again. We'll see you next week.